All right, guys. Hello. So it's me, Marie Ash, and I'm coming to you with another video. And today's topic that I wanted to go over is postpartum hair loss. Now, in general, this can apply to people with natural hair, people with locks, sister locks, traditional locks, or even micro locks. But in general, I can tell you my experience with me having sister locks, the things that I went through, and experience with me as a hairstylist of the things I've seen with clients. So for one, I wanted to take the time for a quick second and let you know, even though our hair is a great deal a part of us and something that we might look at to as a beauty mark, a beauty stamp, it's our crown and glory, but the beauty starts within. No matter if we lose hair, no matter if we have a head full of hair, a little bit of hair, you're still beautiful. So I wanted to make sure I tell you that first, to anyone's watching. As I dealt with having 2 children and never losing hair in my whole entire life, even as a teenager, getting all these styles, quickly sew-ins. I had a few relaxers in my life, but I didn't need a lot, just the type of hair texture that I had. But going through that, I really never lost like hair. Maybe breakage, that's different, but like hair loss, like my edges and everything came out after I had children. So I kind of knew, like, going through that experience of being a hairstylist, that this was a possibility of something like this could happen to me. But I guess since I never lost hair, that I was like, no, my hair's not gonna come out. But honey, listen, when I had my first child, she's 4 now, but when I had her, your body go through a lot of changes. Let's talk about that. We go through hormonal changes. We go through emotional changes, which is also part of hormonal, things. And then we're just trying to figure it out. I was a new mom, and I had locks for several years, over 5 years at the time. And after having her, I started experiencing a lot of thinning around my edges, a lot of thin spots within my locks. But the part that I got hit most was my edges. I had locks, at least over 25 locks fell out. They didn't start just coming completely out. What happened was they started to thin. They started to thin out. They started to hang, and then I had a lot of loose hairs in my edges. I mean, to me, it was embarrassing, It was nothing that I could do about it. It was just a stage that I was in after having a baby, breastfeeding, emotional, like all the time. And then really, like I said, just trying to figure it out, So no matter what you're going through at that stage when having a baby, everybody's hair is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Even people that's having a baby and they're truly happy and I was happy, but going through a positive experience, having good times, we still get emotional. And things might not display with tears or whether it's tears of joy, tears of sadness, no matter what, it might not display emotionally like that, but then certain things take place in our body and it can affect our hair. And I wanted to do this video because a lot of people don't even think that what we going through and our moods and our lifestyle can affect our hair, but that's not true. It can. Whether you're not drinking enough water, whether you're not getting the amount of moisture in your hair, or you're not getting enough different products that you may need, or your scalp, like some people are not taking the time out to figure out what's really going on with their hair. So I'll also insert pictures. I mean, when I say like all of this, and I can show you now too, because I break it a little bit, but the first baby, it took out quite a bit. But then I got pregnant again, like right after that, and it just cleaned it out. So these are short, right? I have a 3 and a 4-year-old. These are pretty short now because it took time to grow out. And let's talk about the emotional state that I was in while going through this transition. I already knew that it was from postpartum. After having a baby, the effects, the hormones, and my body just trying to shift. But technically, I didn't get time to actually heal and go through that process of healing my hair or even growing it back because I had another baby. And then I colored it and then just swiped it all clean. So all these different changes that I went through, with my hair, I'm making this video so you can know, like, okay, it's okay that we're going through these stages, but it's just a process. But what I felt in that moment, going through that for those months and years, should I say, because I didn't feel like myself. It was so noticeable, something that I really couldn't cover it up. When it was short, it was like a clean short, like it was spacious, like it was like a big defined part, because those was the areas that locs was in. So it was like a row, and it was so deep, and it just felt like everybody was looking at it. But again, that's what owning motherhood, feeling confident, and just saying this is not forever, this is just for now. Some people have to go through a forever stage to where they lose hair and it don't ever grow back. And then some people also have alopecia. But me having to never experience that type of hair loss, even if it was just the edges, it took a mental toll, and I was very emotional about it. So as it grew back, it became ugly to me, because here it is with this afro, and I'm not one to put a lot of products in my hair. So here I have this big old afro on the side of my head, growing, well, actually the whole front, let's just be clear, the whole front, probably up into here. This was like the thickest part of my hair, and I didn't have any issues with. So the whole front right here came out. So the things that I was feeling, like, I'm like, I gotta do something. So as it grew back a little bit, I was able to gel it, slick it, but the way my hair texture was, it wouldn't do nothing but curl up. So initially, I kept going through this phase of people walking, asking me like, oh, do you have locks? Or, oh, are you combing them out? Or, just questions that made me feel bad, because it was just like, dang, I'm doing everything I can. And even with Sisterlocks now, people would say, oh my God, your hair is beautiful. And that day, I might feel like it was a bad hair day. So to go from your hair looks beautiful to now people trying to figure out what's going on with my hair, and I know that it's almost like pulling a, announcing the elephant in the room. Like, I know I'm an elephant. You're gonna tell me several times that I'm an elephant? Like, I know I'm big. I know, so I just felt like that. I felt like people were pointing at me like, okay, I know, I think you got locks, but you got a bald spot, but you got this afro. Like, what's going on? Like, it was almost, I don't know. It was, and it could have been a self-conscious thing, but people definitely noticed it, and they had a way of asking without asking. I don't know. People just weird. But anyway, so I went through that phase, and I shaved my sides, like literally shaved it down. I had someone shave the sides, shave it down for me on both sides. Instantly, when I did that, I felt like I had a boy cut. Like, I didn't feel girly anymore at that moment, because I like glammy stuff. I could have a little bit of slick baby hair edges, but nothing that made me feel like I don't know. It just made me feel different, right? I was like, dang, it feels like I have a lineup. The haircut was nice and fresh, of course, but in that moment, I didn't feel pretty. So I went through a phase. So it was either you let it grow or you cut it off. Or you have to go through that phase to where you're gonna have this afro around your edges, because clearly if it's not grippable, then you have to go through that process of having it shaved. Now, clearly some people, ideally when people cut their hair and they wanna go through that phase of growing it back, it'll be the back of their hair. So people that have the back of their hair shaved, right? And they have the back. So if you have the back of your hair shaved and you want it to grow back, it's covered up. But imagine just having the front of your hair not shaved and not being able to really cover it up and it being noticeable. So those are the things that I went through. But I'm here to tell you that don't lose hope. If you're pregnant, or if you just had a baby and you have locks and you have natural hair and you're going through that phase and you're not feeling your best self because you've lost your hair, know that you're doing a beautiful thing. You just birthed a child. Give yourself some grace, and it's only temporary. And if it's permanent, there are solutions that probably you could take steps to make you feel better. But I've learned that part of me didn't define me. It's how I handled it. And how I handle it. I went through all these steps trying to figure out myself and what would make me look pretty. And in the end, I just had to be patient. Be patient, trust the process of regrowth, and enjoy my children. because it happened because I gave childbirth and my hormones and all of that good stuff. But, you know, that was just something that I emotionally felt sad about, but it grew back, right? So once I've been patient, you know, my stylist, she went in and she made sure, and this is why they're shorter, right? And it took about that long, because what kept happening was she would replace them, they would fall out. She'll replace them, they'll fall out. She'll replace them, I shampoo, and they fell out. I was scared to shampoo my hair. So I'm probably rambling at this point, but I wanted to come and hopefully be a motivation to you. I'm going to show some pictures. It'll be somewhere on the screen. I'll pop them in at different times. But I mean, it was definitely a tough journey. But do some research on it, you know. Like I said, I even had clients that came in before, and they will come and during the consultation, I will make sure I ask, like, especially if they're younger, they're mid, heading in their 30s, or, you know, I say, hey, one of the questions I ask, you know, or even throw in there, I said, sometimes people like to do micro locks, versus sister locks sometimes because of the hormonal changes that you may go through, even if it's with, let's just be honest, like, we go through stuff. We go through menopause, we having a baby, sometimes we're stressed, that's like a hormonal thing. Our cycles, you know, and all these different things. So I ask if you have any, I'll throw in there, like, if you have on any plans of having children in the future, these are some of the things that can happen. You could lose your hair, your hair can thin, some locks might fall out, and hey, mine was in the front. Some people hair falls out in the center, so it's a lot, and just be mindful of that. So if you don't see any results, and then you go through that experience, and then a lot of your locks are just more damaged than good, then you might have to talk to your consultant or your hairstylist to see what you can do to thicken it up. Now, I had some brave soldiers in here that had so many thinning, I mean over 40, I mean, and it was horrible. I really couldn't do anything with them. I couldn't retighten them or anything. But then that calls for a conversation, like, hey, you have this going on, but it's in this one area. We can trim it out, let this area heal, and then as it grows back, we can begin to add those locks back. And I've done that before, and now everything is even. However, then you go through that phase of how they emotionally feel about that, if that's something they want to do, if it's something they don't want to do. So I mean, we're going through the process together, but I just wanted to come on here and just be of motivation to let you know that I understand if you're going through hair loss, postpartum hair loss. Mama, keep pushing. It's okay, you know. It's just something that our bodies go through. Yeah. But yeah, I love y'all. Thank you for listening to me. I got this one couple strands of hair. Didn't know what to do right. But yeah. But yeah, overall, I love my hair. Yeah, I was just thinking the other day, I was just like, oh my God, that time when I lost my edges, like, I was devastated. I felt like I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to handle it. And you got people, after having a baby, you're not yourself. Everybody's not their self, you know. You feel blessed to have a beautiful, healthy baby, but then you're trying to figure it out. And a lot of people don't understand that. So in the midst, if I'm catching you before you have your baby, or you're after you have your baby and you're not feeling your best and you're trying to figure out about your hair loss or anything like that, give yourself some grace and pat yourself on the back. You just did an amazing thing. You're about to do an amazing thing. And if anything, you're the best thing to happen to your baby. And they don't see your edges missing. They don't see your hair being gone. They don't see the things that you feel. They just, you know, they just want to cuddle with their mommy. So the joy of that, you know, it was all worth it. But from an adult standpoint, sister to sister, I wanted to let you know what I went through. And I started to even get like some vitamin E and made my own little concoction, because like I said, I don't like product. But I started to massage it often and do things to stimulate the scalp, and started to make, you know, just to start getting those spots to grow back a little bit. But I hope this video helps. I hope I wasn't rambling too much, but you never know your words, how it can be encouraging to someone else. So I wanted to come on here and see if I can help. Love you guys. Bye. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe for more videos.